Well, welcome back, everybody. We turn now to an evening edit exclusive on Biden's border crisis. Joining us now, Texas Congressman Jodey Arrington. One of his staffers captured astonishing video out of a Texas airport. He's sharing it with us. Congressman Arrington, welcome. It's always good to talk to you. You're also, very concerned, obviously, about the situation at the border and also working on new legislation. Let's start by talking about that.
You bet. Well, the picture of the lines of illegal immigrants coming off of a plane is, I think, a picture of what's happening all over the country. And our local leaders aren't even being notified, don't even have the common courtesy of a heads up. And so these sort of clandestine transportation of illegal immigrants that will eventually be released, by the way, into our community, many who are COVID positive, many who have criminal records. And this legislation protecting our communities from a porous border act, signed on, by the way, from members of Congress representing 17 states, would essentially empower governors and local leaders to reject the release of illegal immigrants in their state and in their communities. They don't want to be complicit in this lawlessness, and they don't want to become a sanctuary state. They understand the risk to their citizens.
And the administration was denying for the longest time that this was happening. Jen Psaki was saying there are no midnight bus trips and plane trips until we started seeing the video of it. And then she had to acknowledge that it actually was happening, in fact. Let me ask you this. Biden comes into office. He removes Remain in Mexico. He allows 2 million people, undocumented migrants, to come over the border into our country and be transplanted into various states. And then he says, I'm putting Remain in Mexico back in place. But they're clearly not enforcing it.
No, they're not enforcing Remain in Mexico. They're not enforcing Title 42. They say that they're testing folks for COVID who are adults coming across the border who we've apprehended. That's not true either. So it is effectively the Wild West. It's an open border. And as Americans are watching with great concern the imminent threat of an invasion by Putin into Ukraine, I would submit to you, Jackie, that the far greater threat to Americans' national security is the invasion happening at our southern border when you have 100,000 Americans dying last year of drug overdose, and you've got virtually all of the drugs coming across the southern border, and you have a 50% increase in drugs coming across, and this president is doing nothing. He is completely derelict in the first responsibility of the government, which is to provide safety and security for its people. That's why this invasion is far greater threat to the American people than what we're watching in Eastern Europe right now.
Yeah, I think you're right, because it's a problem that's domestic. It's happening here at home. And essentially, you're seeing this president deal with so many different crises at the same time. It's almost like they're overshadowing each other. So the media is focused on Russia, Ukraine right now. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to what's happening at the southern border, you bring up the drug trafficking, you bring up the human trafficking. The Democrats often say that, they want to be humane. But we've seen pictures, we've seen the video of what happens at the border, the little children that are traveling alone. I mean, it's some of it is heartbreaking, and yet no one stops it.
Well, it's anything but humane. When you encourage people to take this dangerous journey, and the threats to them are tremendous, and we've all heard the statistics about how many women are raped and assaulted. The drug cartels are in complete control. This administration has ceded control of our sovereign border to drug cartels, and they are flooding our country with drugs and gangs and criminal activity, and it's destroying our communities.
There were many parts of it that President Trump was very passionate about, but the drug trafficking was really an issue for him. Congressman, always great to see you. Thank you.
Good to be with you, Jackie. Thank you.